Welcome! You're watching the Thrift Store Rundown, where we bring Hollywood home on a budget. It's spring, and that's when a young man's fancy or a young woman's fancy turns to love, then marriage, then hell and a baby carriage, or at the very least purgatory with a baby carriage. Between those two checkpoints, love and hell/purgatory with a baby carriage, has to be a wedding. However, if you ask anybody, they'll tell you that we strayed far away from the natural order of things. Love, marriage, and then the baby carriage. Nowadays, it's just love, baby carriage, and if we're really lucky, a marriage. Oh well, whenever a marriage comes into play, what person alive wouldn't want to make their wedding day as extraordinary as possible? Which is why we called upon the services of a man who spent the past 35 plus years planning and ensuring weddings as extraordinary as their price tags will allow. And believe you me, the price tags are every bit as extraordinary as the weddings are. Which is why Colin Cowie's Extraordinary Weddings book doesn't come cheap. This collection of 14 of his most extraordinary weddings, from a glimmer of an idea to a legendary event, is the most expensive book I've ever purchased in the history of TSR in terms of the retail price. Look at this. $75 here in the US and $100 in Canada.
That truly is unacceptable. It is blood money and has to be pursued and prosecuted.
Hold it! Let's not prosecute Colin Cowie and throw him in the slammer just yet, or fine him an amount equal to the retail price of this book, or double that. Listen to me very carefully. When I picked this up, all blue tag items from the red, white, and blue thrift store in Patterson on McLean Boulevard, where I got this from, were going for 50% off their sticker prices. Henceforth, this book was purchased for half off $5.99. Nearly $3 for a book that costs $75 here in the States. That is the most remarkable bargain I've ever been privileged to score in 5 years of doing TSR, and I think about 7 years of thrift shopping in general. It truly is astonishing in the best way possible, and there's a reason for that. Because for any bride who dreams in white, this book is gonna have you blushing red. It is that remarkable. That, as the title proudly and appropriately exclaims, extraordinary. Here we have 14 of Colin's most extraordinary weddings packed into one book with a mixture of black and white and color photography. The rundown is as follows. Some of the couples choose to stay anonymous, and some of the couples actually you might recognize. And I'm not talking big name celeb couples, I'm talking about couples that are noteworthy somewhat in the entertainment and hospitality industries. We're gonna highlight one couple per each side that is noteworthy. Like for example, in the entertainment industry, Erica Holton and Antonio L.A. Reid, a top-tier LA music executive. They got married on June 10th, 2000 in Capri, Italy, at a wedding that was simply themed to Italy with love. In which vivid detail, Colin Cowie weaves a tapestry of marital bliss at its very peak, at the very beginning, by outlining which personal touches the bride and groom wanted in their music, in their decor, in their invitations, in their guest lists, in the food, location, and to that point, the weddings in here span the globe, as the great Len Berman says. From Italy to New York, from Mexico to Colorado, so on and so forth. So Colin gives you a story of each of the couple's weddings, along with a mixture of black and white and color photography. I say the color photography in here far outweighs the black and white, and that's good. However, it has an imperfection, which is not good. And that has one of two imperfections for this book, which I'm going to outline in here. First of which is the blurred faces of the guests in some of the one-page photographs here. Now, these blurred VFX shots make it look like they're still stores of time-lapse photography. Yeah, that adds a certain level of anonymity in case some of the guests didn't want to be featured on camera, but I just don't like how it looks. Oh well. Another imperfection in here, the menu. We all know that food is one of the most quintessential, vital parts of a great wedding. For the wedding of Erica and Antonio, we have a trio of pasta, Tuscan beef and Madeira wine sauce. Simply put, it's a Tuscan, Italian-inspired menu. Of course, because the wedding took place in Italy. We don't have any recipes for any of the dishes featured on the menu. I guess Colin wanted to ensure that their special day and every single component of their special day, highlighted in exquisite detail in here, remain theirs, and not for the voyeurs who want to dream of weddings like these. Whatever. But they also include floor plans for the seating of the guests, for the ceremony itself, the reception, dinner, and other components needed. We also have photo collages of the weddings right after the menu and the floor plans. And that's the rundown for this book. Also, Colin gives you practical tips, albeit not so practical in terms of budget, for how to take some of the inspiration from the weddings featured in here and make it your own, applying some of the ideas that Colin utilized in these weddings in your wedding. Like Zen and the art of the pre-rehearsal, setting the table, choosing the dinner, and making the speeches for the rehearsal dinner. On the hospitality side of things, we have the wedding of Maria Allen, if the J is silent, if not it's Marja Allen, and John Georges von Vichten, world-renowned French chef. Their wedding took place in New York City on September 22nd, 2004. The theme, sugar and spice and everything fabulous. Again, the same protocol applies. The bride and groom's personal touches in nearly every facet of the ceremony, the rehearsal dinner, the reception, so on and so forth. It's intimate, it's chic, it's sexy, it's poignant, it's graceful. It's definitely everything that Colin Cowie stands for, with the exception of being budget conscious. These guys are on the upper middle class end of society or the opulent end of society. Hence why this book has such an exorbitant price tag. Oh well, this is the menu. And well, for a French chef and his lovely newlywed, rest assured, they know how to select a good menu. I just wish Colin would throw us a bone, or a twig if you're a vegetarian, and feature a recipe for at least 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the dishes featured in any of the menus in here, but he doesn't. Oh well. We also have creating your own ceremony. Again, applying some of the ideas that Colin utilized in these weddings featured in this book so that you can adapt them and make them your own. Budget permitting. One more wedding to highlight here. An anonymous couple's pre-wedding party, the first private party, I believe, ever held at the Metropolitan Opera House in New York City. And believe you me, because it was an opera house wedding party, it was quite a production, with live monkeys and an opera orchestra. Then afterwards, a small, intimate ceremony in Greenwich, Connecticut, in white tents overlooking Long Island Sound. Man, if someone ever actually got married at the Metropolitan Opera House, or maybe the Metropolitan Museum of Art, or Carnegie Hall, that'd be just, and I don't say this often because it's highly cliche, but that would be to die for. This is the menu for the pre-wedding party, the ceremony itself, and the afternoon tea reception. We have here photographs of the couple's wedding, even though the couple decided to stay anonymous. We have here floor plans for the reception, the ceremony, etc. I have to say, it's worth its price tag, both secondhand and retail price tags, because this book, text-wise and photography-wise, despite the imperfection with the blurred faces, VFX shots here. It's just borderline splendorous. It is exquisitely crafted. And you know, for my money, in terms of storytelling, this is one of the wedding books that I'm going to keep in my library, despite its size, because it's relatively monstrous. If you're looking for a wedding planning book that leans a little more on the practical side, I will leave a link in the description below for you to check out my Modern Bride Survival Guide review, which I did for my Valentine's Day series. To all the souls I've wooed before, then, now, forever. Actually, before, after, forever. I was thinking WWE along those lines. But oh well. That book is a little more practical. This leans more on the storytelling side, but believe you me, Colin Cowie knows how to tell a good story. After a 20-year career as the best-known wedding designer and producer in the world, he would know how to tell a good story. Colin Cowie has chosen these 14 spectacular celebrations as his favorites. He shows you every detail how he helped these couples create their dream day. From vows to flowers to the right vintage of champagne. Nothing was overlooked. Every page of this sumptuous book brims with gorgeous photographs and inspiration for planning an extraordinary personal celebration. Colin Cowie's Extraordinary Weddings offers fantasy for every bride-to-be on the day she says I do. And hopefully, it will inspire you just as it has inspired me to expedite my love life and find the right one so that I can dream of one day hiring someone in Colin's footsteps, and hopefully he will see will have mercy on me and my wallet if we want to plan an extraordinary wedding together. An extraordinary wedding is the start of an extraordinary marriage, so you'll definitely want to take this under consideration if you can afford it. That's why I'm giving it 4 out of 5 claps. And at the very least, hopefully you'll say I do to subscribing to this YouTube channel as we bring you extraordinary bargains on extraordinary books like this. For watching TSR. Now, to see another awesome review like this one, click here. If you want to become a Hollywood bargain hunter, click here to subscribe. And I'll catch you on the thrift side.